is you don't know much. That's all. Now turn her around and let's hurry." Harvey had a notion that the greater part of America was filled with people discussing and envying his father's dollars. "Maybe I do, and maybe I don't. Take a reef in your stomach, young feller. It's full of my vittles." Harvey heard a chuckle from Dan, who was pretending to be busy by the stump foremast, and the blood rushed to his face. "We'll pay for that, too," he said. "When do you suppose we shall get to New York?" "I don't use New York any, nor Boston. We may see Eastern Point about September, and your pa. I'm real sorry I ain't here to tell of him. May give me $10 after all your talk. Then, of course, he mayn't." "$10? Why, see here, Harvey dived into his pocket for the wad of bills. All he brought up was a soggy packet of cigarettes. "Not lawful currency, and bad for the lungs. Heave 'em overboard, young feller, and try again." "It's been stolen!" cried Harvey, hotly. "You'll have to wait till you see your pa to reward me, then?" $134 all stolen," said Harvey, hunting wildly through his pockets. "Give them back." A curious change flitted across old Troop's hard face. "What might you have been doing at your time of life with $134, young feller?" "It was part of my pocket money for a month." This Harvey thought would be a knock-down blow, and it was, indirectly. "Oh, $134 is only part of his pocket money, for 1 month only. You don't remember hitting anything when you fell over, do you? Crack against a stanchion, let's say? Old man Haskin of the East Wind," Troop seemed to be talking to himself, "he tripped on a hatch and butted the mainmast with his head, hardish. 'Baout 3 weeks afterwards, old man Haskin he would hev it that the East Wind was a commerce destroyin' man o' war, and so he declared war on Sable Island because it was British and the shoals run out too far. They sewed him up in a bed bag, his head and feet appearin', for the rest o' the trip, and now he's home in Essex playin' with little rag dolls." Harvey choked with rage, but Troop went on consolingly. "We're sorry for you. We're very sorry for you. And so young. We won't say no more about the money, I guess." "'Course you won't. You stole it." "Suit yourself. We stole it, if it's any comfort to you. Now, about goin' back. Allowin' we could do it, which we can't. You ain't in no fit state to go back to your home, and we've just come on to the Banks, workin' for our bread. We don't see the half of $100 a month, let alone pocket money, and with good luck we'll be ashore again somewheres about the first weeks of September." But it's May now, and I can't stay here doin' nothin' just because you want to fish. I can't, I tell you." "Right and jest and right. No one asks you to do nothin'. There's a heap as you can do, for Otto he went overboard on Le Havre. I mistrust he lost his grip in a gale we found there. Anyways, he never come back to deny it. You've turned up plain, plumb providential for all concerned. I mistrust, though, there's ruther few things you can do. Ain't that so?" "I can make it lively for you and your crowd when we get ashore," said Harvey with a vicious nod, murmuring vague threats about piracy, at which Troop almost, not quite, smiled. "'Cep talk. I'd forgot that. You ain't asked to talk more'n you've a mind to aboard the We're Here. Keep your eyes open, and help Dan to do as he's bid, and sech like, and I'll give you ain't wuth it, but I'll give 10 1/2 a month, say 35 at the end of the trip. A little work will ease up your head, and you can tell us all about your dad and your ma and your money afterwards." "She's on the steamer," said Harvey, his eyes filled with tears. "Take me to New York at once." "Poor woman, Poor woman! When she has you back she'll forget it all, though. There's 8 of us on the We're here, and ef we went back now it's more'n 1,000 miles we'd lose the season. The men they wouldn't hev it, allowin' I was agreeable."
"But my father would make it all right."
"He'd try. I don't doubt he'd try," said Troop. "But a whole season's catch is 8 men's bread, and you'll be better in your health when you see him in the fall. Go forward and help Dan. It's 10 1/2 a month, as I said, an', o' course, all fine, just ez the rest of us."
"Do you mean I'm to clean pots and pans and things?" said Harvey.
"An' other things. You've no call to shout, young feller."
"I won't. My father will give you enough to buy this dirty little fish kettle." Harvey stamped on the deck. "10 times over, if you take me to New York safe, and you're in 130 by me anyway."
"How?" said Troop, the iron face darkening.
"How? You know how, well enough. On top of all that, you want me to do menial work." Harvey was very proud of that adjective. "Till the fall. I tell you I will not. You hear?" Troop regarded the top of the mainmast with deep interest for a while, as Harvey harangued fiercely all around him.
"Hush," he said at last. "I'm figuring out my responsibilities in my own mind. It's a matter of judgment."
Dan stole up and plucked Harvey by the elbow. "Don't go to tamperin' with Dad any more," he pleaded. "You've called him a thief 2 or 3 times over, and he don't take that from any livin' bein'." "I won't!" Harvey almost shrieked, disregarding the advice, and still Troop meditated.
"Seems kinder unneighborly," he said at last, his eye travelling down to Harvey. "I don't blame you, not a mite, young feller. Nor you won't blame me when the bile's out o' your system. Be sure you sense what I say. 10 1/2 fer second boy on the schooner, an' all fund. Fer to teach you an' fer the sake o' your health. Yes or no?"
"No," said Harvey. "Take me back to New York, or I'll see you." He did not exactly remember what followed. He was lying in the scuppers, holding on to a nose that bled, while Troop looked down on him serenely.
"Dan," he said to his son, "I was set against this young feller when I first saw him, on account o' hasty jedgments. Never you be led astray by hasty jedgments, Dan. Now I'm sorry for him, because he's clear distracted in his upper works. He ain't responsible for the names he's give me, nor fer his other statements, nor fer jumpin' overboard, which I'm about half convinced he did. You be gentle with him, Dan, or I'll give you twice what I give him. Them hemorrhages clears the head. Let him sluice it off."
Troop went down solemnly into the cabin, where he and the older men bunked, leaving Dan to comfort the luckless heir to 30 millions. End of chapter.